So I would like to start talking about the scope of the movie. You know, this is the kind of movie that you see and you immediately know that this is an experience that you want to have in a movie theater. So I don't know if you guys were thinking that you needed to raise the bar in some ways when it comes to disaster movies.
We did. That was, you said it. That's exactly what we want to do. We wanted to try and...
You just answered the question.
Yes. we wanted to raise the bar. In terms of disaster movies, because there's been some amazing disaster movies that have been made in the past, and we used movies like The Perfect Storm, Titanic, as our references, because those movies were spectacular. Titanic was spectacular because in terms of disaster genre. But the key to those movies, and I think the key to our movie too, in terms of raising the bar, not only was technology important, obviously when we use the best technology, in terms of visual effects, in terms of green screen, in terms of taking the audience and putting them inside of the earthquake as it happens, but also just like Titanic, you cared about those characters. At the end of the movie, you really cared about those characters. You knew the disaster was coming. Same thing in Terremoto, La Falla de San Andrés, you care about these characters.
Now that you're talking about the characters, you spend a lot of time on screen with Carla, and then we have Alexandra, that in a way her character is on the core of this story, right? And we can even say that she carries the weight of half of the movie. So can you tell us a little bit about the female cast of this movie?
Sure. I mean, it's such an important thing for us, was to make sure that if the goal is to make sure that you made a movie that you cared about the characters, the female characters in the movie could not run around waiting to be saved. Like, they had to think, just in terms of on their feet, instigating, kicking ass, getting knocked down, being strong, coming back up, thinking 10 steps ahead. I think making sure that our female characters were just as strong, if not stronger, than the male characters was important to us. So then you also have to get actresses who everyone believes can really pull this off. Carla Gugino is a beautiful actress who is a very strong, in real life, she's a very strong woman, so she plays her role well, her role really well. Alexandra Daddario is the same thing. I mean, she, in real life, is a very strong woman, so these women were able to pull from their own personal strengths and put it in the character.
A few weeks ago in Vegas, you said that you felt that you have basically two options, you know, to make this movie or to make a movie about how you lost your virginity. So that sounded like a disaster movie, you know? So
yeah, it was a disaster movie.
I just want to make sure that movie's not going to happen, right?
The Losing My Virginity movie?
Yeah.
No, it was a very quick movie, by the way, yeah. It was about 90 seconds worth of film.
But now that you have...
But just to be clear, if we were to make a movie about losing my virginity, it would have been a very quick movie. 90 seconds, the movie would have been over. But here's the thing, here's the key. It would have been the best 30 seconds of her life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. It's a dude thing. It's guy code, right?
Yeah, of course.
You don't know.
Absolutely. Now that you have so many experience making action movies, did you find something in this movie that you I don't know, in some way you found particularly challenging?
I did. It was probably, you know, in this movie I did everything, and I was really fortunate to play that type of character. He flies an airplane, parachutes out of an airplane, flies a helicopter, drives a boat. The most challenging thing was probably shooting inside of the world's biggest water tank, one of the world's biggest water tanks. And because it's just, inherently, it's a very challenging thing. Underwater, all of San Francisco, downtown San Francisco, is submerged when the big tsunami hits. It's all in the Pacific Ocean. And we had to shoot underwater for a good amount of time, so it was very challenging. And then also you have the challenge of, not only are we submerged, but I'm trying to save my daughter's life underwater where she's drowning. So it was challenging. Practically it was challenging, but it was also just emotionally challenging too, because it's like days of having to act as if you're losing your loved one.
How do you know that a movie will work for you or not? You know, when you're in the early stages.
God, you know, that's a great question. You just don't know. You hope because you never know. You know, nobody wants to make a movie that's not good. Everybody sets out to have good intentions with a movie. The best thing that I've found that I could do is to make sure that I have prepared as much as I could possibly prepare. And not only that, but with a movie like this, you got to make sure that you surround yourself with the greatest filmmakers in the world, the best director for the job, the best producer for the job, the best multiple visual effects companies, stunt coordinator, I mean, actors, to give you every opportunity to succeed. And you're right, by the way, with a movie like this, it's not an earthquake movie. It's the biggest earthquake of all time. So there are a lot of elements involved, and I think we made a good one.